and welcome to Tiny World of Cool Cat's Foliage.
Yes.
So it's me in front of the camera.
Which is Kay, and it's Maggie behind.
Okay, so we brought out our leaves a little while ago, and we're just bringing out our petals. So all this in the greenhouse has been done with our leaves.
These are our new miniature dies.
Okay, so these are our the new, so for example, that is the fern one. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the fern one. And then I've cut some of these out so you can see these on the board just to make life easier. So that's a fern one. So all these dies are designed to cut out but leave a little piece there attached to your card or your paper so that you can keep them there and then snip them out as you need to. So the idea is, A, you don't lose them, and secondly, you can snip them out and then sort of colour them in one go and then snip them out as you use them. And it's also quite useful for flat storage. Okay. So
what size are they, Kay?
Right, so these ones go from roughly about 1 in 12 to 1 in 24. So they range from, all of them do that. So you can do the bigger leaves to the tiny little ones. Okay, so that's a fern, which is these are the saw blades. So you've got different types of saw blade out. So as you can see, they all attach. So you've got the 1 in 12 going down, and then the 1 in 24. It's 120, 124. Okay, so these are quite very fine. So they're very difficult to cut out by hand. So that's the reason why we've done them on die form, because that's a lot easier.
And because they're all joined together, it means you don't have to pick up little tiny pieces. You just snip them off when you need them.
Yeah, and this is our cheese plant. So again, you can see that's the 1 in 12. So cheese plant is quite big. Oh, well, so that's a cheese plant that's quite big, and this is the smaller ones. Okay, so they graduate down to 1 in 20, 24 down that way. And then we've got our oak leaves, heart, ivy, and maple. So you've got your oak leaf. So I've been told.
Right. So come forward to me, and then go that way. Okay, that's perfect.
Right. Okay. What am I showing? The oak leaf.
Oak leaf.
Right.
Just, okay. You're just showing the oak leaf.
Right. Okay. So this is the oak leaf, and as you can see, you got 1 in 12, and it goes down to little titchy ones down there. So again, they're extremely difficult to cut out that small. So that's the reason why we've done that. So, and then you've got the heart.
Come down a bit.
So you've got the heart. Again, you've got the heart-shaped leaves, and you can also use these for petals as well. And then again, you go from the 1 in 12 to the 1 in 24. You've got a maple leaf.
Yep.
Okay, which is fairly self-explanatory. So these are brilliant because you can do a lot of different plants. So I like these for heucheras, they're brilliant as well as maples. And then your ivy, then you've got the 1 in 12-ish. They're quite a small ivy, and then you go down to tiny ivy. Okay, so you can do lots of things with those. Now we're our original ones. And then after that, we've now done, if I move these out of the way, I'll show you some more detail in a minute. Okay, and these are roughly cut from our petals and our new leaves. So where are you waving at me?
Just towards you a bit, that's it.
Right, okay.
Now towards me a smidge. Perfect.
So what you've got here, you've got our different types of petals. So you've got rounded ones, and they've done it in 4, 5 and 6 permutations. Again, 1 in 12, and then the smaller ones in 1 in 12, 1 in 24. So that's a round.
Pointed.
Heart. Heart. So basically the heart is an inverted pointed.
Yeah.
So that's those ones. Then you come down to the next level. Right, can you see that?
Okay.
Okay, now these ones are our new leaves. These are our new mistletoe leaves. And then we have
oval
leaves again. Petals, sorry, oval petals. And then we have, is that ruffle?
Ruffle, that's my favourite.
Right, and that's a ruffle petal. And that's slightly different to the other ones, but I'll show you those in a second. So if I move that again, so we want the next line down.
Right, so just... Right, you've got the bottom 2 lines in there now.
Okay, so this is our rose leaf, which is a new one. And then we have our fringe petal. And we have our flax, which is like the sword ones, but it's a bit longer. Again, 1 in 12 down to the smaller one, which is 1 in 12 to 1 in 24. And then we have our holly leaves. They're a distinctive shape as well. And we've got those as serrated as we possibly can in die form.
Yeah, we drove the factory mad, didn't we, Kay?
We did indeed. Okay, and then we've got our smooth petal, which are these ones here, which are great for poppies. And then we've got our calyx, calyx. And then you can see, oops, you see those on the back. Can you see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just show you what the dies look like. This is the ruffle one. So this one you get the 1 in 12 and the 1 in 12/24. So you've got the two sizes on here. Again, when we cut them out, they stay to the paper. And these ones are slightly different to the other. So you've got three types of this. So you've got the ruffle, the fringe, and the smooth, which are very good for roses in particular, and poppies. So you can do lots of different flower shapes with those three.
And they've got little holes in them, haven't they, Kay?
Or they've got piercing holes. So you can use the piercing holes if you want to, or you can just wrap them around the stem. So you don't actually have to use the piercing holes, but they are there, and you can just extend them so you can get a wire through them. So now this is an oval one, and this is on a plate, and unusually these aren't actually cut in, so you get these as separate ones. So you get 1, 2, 3, you get 9 each time you put a pass through. So as you can see, you've got 4-petal one, a 5-petal, and a 6-petal flower. So you can layer them up or keep them as, if you just got a 4-petal flower that you want to do, you can do that, or you can layer them up to make an 8 or a really ruffled one. Okay, so there, and you've got the holes in here are the release holes. So if you want to thread them on, you just pierce them with a piercing tool. So that was the easiest way to get those done and get the flower shapes in them. So that's about the 1 in 12 size. So the 1 in 20/24 size is slightly different, as these are similar to the leaves in as much as they stay in the card. And you snip them out as you want, mainly because they're so small, so you want to keep hold of them. And you can also colour them in one strip. So what you've got the 2 and the 3 alternative. So you've got 3 petals and you've got 2 petals. Then you can layer those up to make a 4-petal plant, a 5, a 6, or whatever. So you can just loading those up. 20/24 scale ones, the smaller ones. So this one's been cut out. So I've used 2 of the 2 petals to make a 4-petal plant, flower. And this is 2 of the 3 petals to make a 6-petal plant, flower. So you just layer them onto each other. So I'll show you how to do that in a minute. The whole range should give you enough shapes to make any plant that you want. I'm going to cut out some flowers to see how they're used. Now this is a very thin paper, so this is about the same thickness as copy paper, so it'd be about 1 in 80 GCM, it may even be 70, but I think it's quite thin paper. So you don't want anything too, for the flowers, you don't want anything too big, too thick rather. So you get a pair of scissors, and just chop that through. So I'm going to do 2 at a time. You could probably layer this up with 4 at a time if you wanted to. So I'm going to cut out, so the round petal one. So I'm going to cut out that one and the 2 one as well. Okay. So I get my dinky thing.
And these dies will go through, I think, most die machines because they're not very big.
No, I don't think it's a machine that they wouldn't go through. But if you can find one, let us know. Okay, so I'm going to put those on there like that. So I'm going to get 2 lot out of here, those. Like that. Thank you very much. So, Glamorous Assistant. So I'll just put those together just to hold them in place. And okay, this is quite an old machine, so it needs a shim. And
Have you had your Weetabix this morning?
no, cut that out. Okay, so we can lift that up. So you lift this one out, and you've got all your leaves here. So you get petals, right? Petals are there, and you get 9 of each petal. And as I've doubled it up, I've got 16. I've got 18 each side. So those are separate, and in this case doubled up, so I can split them in a minute. Okay, and you can put those in a little pot and to use those later if you wanted to. Can you see that all right?
Yeah, go towards you a bit. Yeah, let me just zoom it. Shall I zoom in a bit?
Yeah.
Just so we can show.
I'll leave them on those things.
Do they Is there an indent where the pokey holes are?
No, not this one. You can do this as you'll do this yourself. Right, these ones cut out of your card like this, so they stay put because they're really quite small. So I'm just going to chop those around like that, and then it's quite a useful way of storing them as well. And because I know it's doubled, I'm just going to peel this.
So you haven't got all these little tiny bits coming off. You need to go towards you a smidge.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so I've got 2 lots of this. So that's the 3 petal. And what I tend to do is I lift those up and bring them across like that. Can you see this?
Yep.
Okay. So as you can see, they're still attached. And you've got a lot of petals here, so you can
Go to town.
yeah. It's the sort of thing you can do in front of the TV. So I'll cut a load of these out and then sit in the TV and make up a load of flowers.
Yeah.
So then what I tend to do is just pull all those back.
Hold on, I haven't got that in. Come towards me a bit. That's it.
Like that. Okay, so just pull those back. Then I snip close to where I folded them back.
So you're not cutting them off the card, they're still...
No, well,
Still
apart from the
Yeah.
one that escaped. So for the most part, they're there. So I've still got those. So they're just, as you can see, don't sneeze or laugh when you've got these in because they'll just go everywhere.
Go
Okay.
to you a bit.
So as you can see, they're cut off. Now at this point, I can colour them in a bit more if I wanted to. So I can get a pen or a brush and give them a bit more colour. So I'll just go, as I'll show you. A bit of card. I'll do it on here. Okay. So what you can do is just load up the brush, and then so this way a good way of colouring in.
And what are you using? Distress inks?
You can use distress inks because I'm just doing this, brushing this on. You can use distress inks. You can use acrylic paints. You can use watercolour paints. You can use ordinary crayons, watercolour crayons, felt tip pens, Copex, any other alcohol
You could spray
ink.
them as well, couldn't you?
Yeah, you can spray them. Because this is paper is quite thin, if you're spraying with water and you want to mould them where they're slightly damp, the best way of doing that is to spray a piece of kitchen towel, lay your flowers on it, and then fold it over, and then just press it in, and then make them damp without being too wet.
And then you can manipulate.
You can manipulate them because it'll soften the fibres.
Okay, you're doing that on really thin copy paper, aren't you?
Yes, because they're small flowers.
Crepe paper would work well as well.
Yeah,
wouldn't
you can
it?
use crepe paper. Yeah. So, if you've got little tiny scraps and what have
Or
you.
tissue paper.
Yeah, tissue paper. Fairly good quality tissue paper.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend wetting that one at all, though.
No, especially if it's not a colour fast one.
So, well, yes, yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to snip off a few of the small ones. And then we'll make a couple of flowers up. And then you can just snip off as many as you like then. So, pull that off. Okay, so then I'm just going to colour those ones as well, because I can. So you can really go to town with the colouring on this. I'm keeping this fairly basic. Okay, so now I've decided I want to do a 6 flower cards, 6 petal flower. So I'm going to snip off just there. Snip it off so you get the little piercing hole and a little piece underneath it as well. So you get a little flower shape like that. So you've got a little bulbous thing to put underneath through your wire. So you've got something to hold on to, okay? So I'll just repeat that a couple of times. So I'm going to do a 6 and a 5 and a 4 petal flower. So I do that one. I want one from 5, so I want a 3 and a 2.
You've got 2s, 3s.
That's it, so I want that moment. Okay, so I'm going to put that onto a piece of foam. Oh, God. Oh, it's just really annoying that I forgot that. That's not. Oh no, I've got one here. Okay, so I'm going to put these on a piece of foam. Tweezers are fairly essential. Oops, put them on like that. So I'm going to just shape these on here.
You could use a little wax pencil, couldn't you, to pick them up if you wanted to?
Or those sticky things.
Yeah.
Or
blue tack on the end of it.
yeah. So somebody said, oh, I know, it was, Kim Reigate has a brilliant technique. Was using a thing of spaghetti, just damping it slightly with your.
Oh, that's a good idea because it'd be tacky, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. A bit of pasta.
Yeah. Well, if you want a thin one, so spaghetti.
Or your finger licked.
Right, okay, yeah.
Go towards you, yeah.
Right, okay, so I've got one on a piece of sponge or a moulding mat. Okay, so I'm going to just make the holes slightly bigger.
So this one, you can actually see the holes there where you need to poke them.
Yeah. So you can wrap them around if you want to, but you want to do that. So this is not my usual mat, so I'm just turning it over.
You usually have a thinner one.
Yeah, so that's okay. It's a more dense one actually. We can put this work. We're working with this. So right, okay. So you've got little holes, and I've just made them slightly bigger. So I'm going to thread those onto a wire. Now I've got two different types of wire.
Go towards you.
Okay, so these are florist wire or sugarcraft wire you can get, and this is paper covered wire. So this is about a 1 in 24, and sorry, it's number 24, and that's a 32. So for the smaller ones, I tend to use a 32. And I've cut out a length, and I've also put a little bead of glossy accents. You can use glossy pearls. What do you call
Nouveau drops, liquid
yeah,
pearls.
yeah, liquid
Nouveau
pearls,
drops,
that sort of thing.
Enamel accents.
Yeah, enamel accents. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, on the end of there, so you just got a little stop. So you can, and then you can colour that as you wish. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just press that through. Oops.
So you're poking it through the hole.
I would do. So well, the other issue is if because you've got paper covered, it does sometimes open up. So if it does that, all you need to do is get your glue and just put a drop of glue on, like that, and just screw it, and then just squidge it back in again. Okay, so that just keeps it unravelling. Okay, then you put that on there.
And which one do you start with?
So I'm doing a 6. So I've started at the 6, and I put that on there like that.
What number petal one is that?
That's a 3 petal one to make
Right,
6.
okay.
So it's 2 times 6. 2 times 3 is 6. Yeah. Okay, so I've got those on like that. So what I'm going to do next is our soft pour repositionable tape. And it's quite a good thing if you put this on your desk or your working mat, and you can put your glue on, and then you can peel it off, and you don't have a dirty surface. That's quite a useful tip. And then the best thing to use is either a piece of wire or a cocktail stick. I tend to use a cocktail stick. So you've got a cocktail stick. So you've got these threaded on. Can you see that? I'm in the middle. Okay.
Yeah.
And then use your tweezers and squidge that up to the top. Get a little bit of glue. Put that underneath. Like that. Just move that round. And then just move it round and then do opposite side. Just lift that up slowly, gently. And then just turn that round. So you've got a thingy of
6 petals.
a flower. So let's get that round to the right place.
Right.
There we go.
Right, hold that there.
Okay.
I'm just going to see. I don't think it's going to let me. Oh. Right, go back a bit. That way. Right, I've zoomed that in a bit more. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so now I've got a tiny little flower.
Yeah.
With 6 petals on it. Okay.
So the next one you do will be zoomed in a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a
Brilliant.
6 petal flower. So I'll do the 5 petal flower. So I need another. So again, I'm using the thinner wire. So I'm going to use a 3, a 2. Make them 5. Oops, one jumped off.
Didn't want to be poked.
That's it. Okay, so bring your 3 up to the top and put a little tiny bit of glue underneath.
Come that way. Right, I've zoomed you in, and you're right zoomed in now, and it's all in focus.
Okay.
Keep more this way if you can. That's it, perfect. You were bang in the middle there.
Right, so move that up.
Lovely.
So now you've got a 5
Yeah.
petal flower. Okay, so you've got a 5 petal flower.
Yeah, that's
okay.
perfect.
And we'll just do a 4 petal flower because we can. That's it. Okay. So I've now got those on here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring that one up to the top.
So basically, the first one you pierce, you always move that up to the top, then apply your glue.
Yeah, I don't tend to put the glue on because it holds it from underneath.
Mm.
Okay, I'll probably put too much glue there, but we'll see. Here we go. And we'll just move that one up.
Yeah, so you don't need to put the glue on the blob at all at the top.
No, I don't tend to do that. You can do if you want to, but I don't tend to do that.
Well, that's quite good because you don't get any glue showing on the top.
Well, you have now, so you can see I've got a little bit of glue there.
Oops.
Because I overdid it.
Yeah.
You just take the end of the cocktail stick and just remove it out of the way.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It would. Okay. Of course, then you can colour that in. Really colour that in if you wanted to. You can have a little bits that go at the petal for variation and what have you.
You could gilding wax with a brush, couldn't you, on the end as well?
We could
Edges.
do, yeah. So anyway, that's it. So
yeah. Lovely.
Okay, so that's those ones, and then I'll do one of the other ones, and the other ones, the other petal shapes. Sorry. The other petal shapes work just the same. So these ones here. So I've got 2 on here because I need to split them.
Oh yeah, because you had the paper doubled over, didn't you?
Yeah.
You cut it.
So I'll just split those. There you go, like that. So that is a 6, 5. That's a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's
it.
5. And these are the 6. Okay, that's a 6. And then I'll do a 4 as well. Okay, I'm not going to colour these in. I'll just do them up. So you got a 4, 5, 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to just put a hole. So if you push it through, it also slightly shapes it as well. You can get it off the end. It's decided it's going to stay on the hook. What was I going to say? That's it. Okay. So you've got a nice sharp pointy bit. So it's one of the things you want to keep these tools just for this type of thing, and not don't let your husband have them because they'll do something horrendous.
Don't use it as a general pokey tool because it'll blunt.
So yeah, so if you just save it for these, then that's perfect. So the other thing you can do, so I've used as I said earlier, I used glossy accents, enamels, or other pearl drops, whatever, on the end of a paper covered wire. The other thing you can do is use an eye pen. An eye pin. So for jewellery making. So if you've got any of these, you can use these. So you can. This is a flat one which I've painted yellow, but you can also get them with roundy bits as well. So I do.
They're called head pins.
They're called the head pins.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, the head pins. There you go. So I've got you can dip various thicknesses and what have you. So you can use these. So I'm just going to go onto there. In this case, I do then want to put a tiny bit of glue there.
What did you colour the end with, Kay?
Acrylic paint. But anything that was, because it's metal, so anything that will stick with metal. So in this case, it'll be acrylic paint. Okay, so I've got that one there, and then of course, that's a dinner van. Was that the time already? Gosh. Right, and that's the 6.
It's very effective, Kay.
So it's a simple thing to do, but and these work well obviously in nooks because what we did them for. But you can put them on cards. You can do them onto other mixed media things. That wasn't quite in the centre, but it doesn't matter too much. There you go. So you get the idea. So then you can shape them as you wanted to. So you got those there. Then you got the side. What do you call them? Side? I can't. the bits that go on the back of them.
Calyx.
Calyx. I don't want to call them cyclists, like calyx.
Come that way.
Right, so
Perfect.
right, okay, so if I put, so you've got your 3, your 4, and your 5. Hold on, I'll get this on. That's it, okay? Like that.
That way.
Okay, so you've got your smaller ones and your larger ones. These are the round ones, but the other ones work exactly the same. But I'll show you how the ruffle, smooth, and fringe petal ones work, because they're slightly different. Those ones here I've used to make a daisy.
Oh, that's lovely.
Okay, and then it's like
Come that way a bit.
that's a daisy one.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's used in the oval one. And this one, again, this is used the pointy ones.
Towards you. Oh, it's like a forget-me-not.
And that's a forget-me-not, basically. It's quite a dark one, but it's a forget-me-not type one. Okay, so I'm going to use the other type of petals we have, which are the ruffle, smooth, and fringe. And these are the fringe ones I've just cut out here. And I'm going to make a pink, a pink or carnation type flower. Okay, so I've cut these out already. So I'll just snip a few of these off.
And these dies are different to the others because they actually leave the die cut in the paper.
So they're bigger and wider petals. So you can wrap them round. You can make like roses, and that type of thing. But you can also thread them through a wire and shape them, which is what I'm going to be doing on this one. So I'm going to do.
Oh, these ones have got holes in them, haven't they?
Yeah, these are pierced. So you don't have to use a piercing if you don't want to, but they have got the piercing in there, so you just snip them off like that.
Very noisy in here today.
It is very noisy.
I think they've seen the sign saying videoing and making as much noise as possible.
The idiot car place up the road is having a good go as well, isn't it? Right, so I've got those ones, which are the larger size. I'm going to cut out. I'll do the same again with the smaller size and see what we get. Okay, so because I want to manipulate these, and these are done in copy paper. I've just cut these out in copy paper. I want to manipulate them, and I want the fibres a bit soft. I'm going to slightly dampen them. It depends on how you colour them. I'm going to dampen these before I colour them, because if I use a water-based colour, then it will just run if I dampen them down with water. So I'll just do 5 petals on each. So you can layer them up as much as you like. So I've just done 5 of those.
So they need to go towards you.
Right, okay. Well, we'll do in a second.
Oh, that's okay, because you're going to put your kitchen towel.
Yeah,
that's perfect, because that's bang in the middle.
Okay, so all I'm going to do is spray that with a little bit of water. And I'm going to put these on top somehow. That's it, so put those on top. So I want these damp, but I don't want them sopping wet, because as with any paper, if you dampen any paper, it just gets weaker.
Goes like a mush.
So you just got to be careful you don't do that. Okay, so put those on there. And then just squish that on there. I'm going to keep them on the towel, the smaller ones on the towel, because I'm going to be doing that in a second. So let's bring the bigger ones forward a bit, and then put them on my foam mat. So you can cut these out of any colour you like. So you can either do white and then paint them to the colour that you want. You can start off with a shade close to where you want to, and then just enhance the shading with pens or acrylic paints, watercolour paints. Basically, any medium you can put on paper you can use on these.
Oh, I've just had an idea. Okay.
Have you? That's good.
Edible rice paper flowers for cakes.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that'd be good. Right, so I'm going to threading that one up and put that on there. Okay, and then I'm just going to, where am I? In the middle?
Yep. That's
Okay.
it, you're bang in the middle now.
Right, okay, and then I'm going to squidge that on. So you've got to be gentle. I'm just going to squidge that in the middle like that. So it doesn't look terribly exciting at the moment, but I'm hoping it will. So I'll just bend that around like that. Okay, so you ended up with that, which doesn't look terribly exciting, but it will do in a minute. I'm going to thread another one on.
That's it, keep it there.
Oops.
They're alive.
Yeah, the foam's a bit too soft really for one, so I'll do that. And anyway, so I'll put that, and then I get my glue, which I might just about do that straight from the pot. Just put a little bit of glue.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of glue. You just need to just hold it in place, and then put that opposite your opening like that. Okay, squidge it up, and then squidge it in. So you just fold it into it on itself. You see what I'm doing?
Mhm.
Okay, and I was going to do a 5-petal one. Okay, probably be slightly damper as well, but
It's really fun doing these. It's
Is it?
actually, I found it really therapeutic.
you lose track of time.
Yeah,
totally,
you do.
So and then put another one on.
Oh, I'm going to have to get some edible rice paper now.
That's a good idea.
Come towards me a bit.
Right, okay, well, obviously you won't be able to eat the wire.
No, obviously not. But when I was little, we used to get, because I was at boarding school, my birthday cake used to be sent to me, and the candle holders were edible roses.
Oh, right.
They didn't have any metal in them, they just made edible flowers and stuck the candle in. Sorry, digressing, come towards me a bit. Back a bit. Perfect.
Okay, so just squidging that up again.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to open this up again in a minute. So again, next one. I'll do that one. Is that sound coming? I've got an interloper somewhere along the line. I can hear.
Yes.
Okay. And just put a little bit of glue on there. Just hold it in place again. The opening on the other one. And just squish that one through.
There's the idiots going by.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure why you have to have your man head in car form, but never mind. But then, all I want my car is for it to get me from A to B safely and start.
Stuff lots of crafty goodies in.
Starting reliably is about the most important thing, right? So that's going to be. All right, am I in the right place now?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, and squidge that one up. Okay. So, and hold those in place. Right, and then you can do is get your tweezers and then sort of manipulate them and squidge it around until you're happy with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to move that around a bit, I think. That's it, there we go. So,
Towards you a bit.
okay. Right, so it's a general idea that... What you picked that up? Clive gasping his last, that sounds right. Okay, then. And then, because some pinks have the nice frilly bit on the colour on the outside, so you just brush a pen over. So you can do this as a crayon or a pen. This is quite a strong colour, so you can see it easily. Okay, and then I'm going to use a side. Also squidged a bit, but okay. So you can see that goes like that. So I'm going to leave that one there for a minute. I'll do the smaller one. Let's get that in. Oh, these might be slightly damper and easier to mould. So just put those on there like that. And I'm going to use a slightly smaller pin. So these piercing holes weren't made any bigger because if you want to layer your flower around a stamen or anything, you don't want to see the piercing hole particularly.
Towards you a bit. And that caused problems, didn't it? Trying to get right size holes. It took a lot of prototypes to get these, didn't
Yes,
it?
it did. It did well. Right, okay, let's squish that one up. Okay, so exactly the same procedure as I did before, so just squidge it up. Right, these are slightly damper, so they're a bit easier to do. That one. There we go. So get a bit of glue. It's quite pretty as it is. We'll carry on. So with these flowers, you can either do them as realistic or as fantasy type as you like, really. So if you want to make them realistic, what I suggest is downloading a picture on your phone, and then and you can do that with the colour range as well for it, or pick one from your garden if you get lucky enough to have something in your garden. Okay, squish that around. Oops. That's far too much glue, but we'll just shove it on anyway.
Towards me a bit. That's it.
Okay.
Back a bit. Yep. Perfect.
Here we go. Right, let's make the hole big enough on that one. If we take these onto the TV, they're going to love this, aren't they?
I was just thinking about that, but they were very good last time, weren't they?
Well, with the leaves, yeah. Okay, so you can make this one as fuller if you wanted to. So I'm just going to move. Can you see that?
Yep. You're just manipulating now.
Yeah, I'll just do a little bit of manipulating. You can obviously mess around these quite happily with it. So I'll just do that. I'll get a little bit of my pen.
It's in your pot there.
Oh, that's it. And just take all those on the edge. Tiny bit like that. Okay, so you got like that. Okay, and then we're going to put these on it I can't pronounce.
Calyx.
Calyx. What is the matter with me? I can't do it today.
Think of
Right.
kale, and then
Calyx,
just put an
yes.
X on the end.
Calyx. Right, so I've already cut some out. You may please know. I'll put them straight on here. So the calyx you can make flowers out of these as well. In fact, I've got a very face suspicion that's what I did for my daisy, thinking about it. So they come out that shape. So it's like a star shape. So you get some with 5, which these ones are. Then you've got 6 little petal things on them.
I can see a 4 as
And
well.
there's a 4 as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not quite sure what these things have, so what should I do? And these ones, again, like the other petals, don't have the piercing hole in the centre. So, squish that one.
This just finishes off
It just,
the flower.
yeah, it's just going to finish the flower off a tad, yeah, so I've got 2 of them, so I have got smaller ones as well, which I haven't cut out, but I've got smaller ones. But we can have a nice big one on here. So I've got a 4 and a 6, so I'll use a 6 for the bigger one. And then I'll just put this little pen. I'll sort those out in a minute.
Good luck with that.
Use it again. It's a silicone mat, so everything sticks to it because it's moved to it.
But they also, just looking at those shapes there, I'm just thinking about making your own little sprinklies.
Yes.
Ooh.
You could do, yeah.
And I'm just thinking, Kay,
You could do loads of things
could
with
cut
this.
these out with them. It would be a bit thick, but you could use our shrink plastic. You'd have to do it in the oven. But some of them might be quite good. What have you lost?
Hold on. So I'm just going to shape these a little bit more.
You could could use the end of your Teflon mini pencil, couldn't you?
Good. Actually, the mini pencil is quite good for putting glue and stuff on these things because they're really good. Anyway, so I've got the smaller one. I'm going to put the 4 on. So a little bit of glue around. Squish it out. And just hold on a minute. There we go. Okay.
That's it, yeah.
So you've got the back of it like that.
Brilliant.
So what you can do then to cover this, because it's silver, is you can either use the florist tape round it, or you can paint it with acrylic paint. I tend to use paint because then I can just blend it into the calyx, and it's all one colour. And if you wanted to, you have little ovary things here that got little bulbous bits. I think they're the ovaries. What you can do is put a little bit of glossy accents or anything like that before you paint it, and then that will do that. So, alright, let's put that one. Let's do that one. There's a drop more glue. And then I'll show you how we do one we can do with
A quilling tool.
thank you. Get there eventually. Oh, I've lost words today. There we go. Okay, so you got that one and that one.
Back this way. That's it. Perfect.
Okay,
Lovely.
like
They're
that.
really realistic, Kay.
Well, but that's without too much messing around. I haven't done that much with them particularly, but that's just copy paper and a little bit of spare.
But that's the point, isn't it? They're designed so you don't need to be an expert
You
florist or sugar
No.
crafter, anything like that.
No, you
because
should
these
be-
help you achieve.
Yeah, admittedly they are small and they are fiddly, but
Yeah.
again.
But I can do them,
So
and I've got fat fingers.
So, right, I put those on there. So I'll do some quilling now. So I'll cut out this area. This is quite a soft fabric, like a really soft. I'll tell you what I did with these. I did.
You glycerin them.
Yes, I put glycerin on it. This is copy paper that I put glycerin on, so it makes it really soft. So I'm not quite sure how it works, but then I've coloured them in. So
Did you put neat glycerin on, or did you
no, I did water.
dilute it?
Dilute it. It was only 20% glycerin and the rest
Yeah.
of water. Sprayed it on, but I do like I like the feel of it.
Yeah,
'cause
it's a
the
nice
fabric-
feel, isn't
yeah,
it?
Changes the structure of the paper. So this is one of the sword leaves. Okay, so I bent that one back like that. Do the same on the other side. Again, if you wanted to, you can do. You can put edging around them for different types of leaves. Mother-in-law tongues, you have to have yellow on them with little dots on them. So basically, if I look at plant plots, house plants, and get the leaf variation is endless. So again, I'm going to just cut that like that, and then cut these off.
So you're doing it so you end up with a strip.
Yeah. So you can use these these leaves individually, but you want to put it on a firmer card or a heavier cardstock. So if you do this, the mother-in-law's tongues on. I'll show you on this one. So these are the mother-in-law tongues. Can you see that?
I can't really see it unless you angle the.
Right, let's put it in those ones.
Yeah, I know what a mother-in-law's tongue looks like. That's it there.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So the mother-in-law's tongues, I've done them individually, and I've used a stiffer card, and I've put them in the pot, and I've edged it with yellow. So you can do. Okay.
Yeah, you can see it. Yep.
Okay. Cool. Right. So I've got one of those. Let's do the other one. Again, the sword leaves are fantastic because you can do them for, obviously, foliage for your flowers. Now we've got flowers. So I'm not quite sure what flower shape these make nice. Actually, they're for
Sunflower you could do.
yeah. These are actually quite nice for
Oh, what are those?
Forget-me-nots that I've just had done. They've got those sort of flowers. Okay, so you get your twilling tool. And then you can just, oops.
So a quilling tool just has it's like two.
It's got a split.
It's like a split.
It's got a split pin there. And then you just wind it. That's it, okay? Just wind it. I'll just start it off and then I'll put a bit of glue.
That was going to be my next question.
So I tend to start it off before I glue it. And I put a little bit of glue along here. You only need a little bit. Can you see that?
Yeah, we can see it.
And just dip it on the end. Okay. And then just wind it through. Okay, then I'm going to join the other one onto it. So I put a little bit more glue just on there. Just hold it for a sec. There we go. So just start that off. That's it. And put a bit of glue on it. Okay. And just keep winding. And then when you get to the end, put a little bit of glue on the end. Okay, make sure that's nicely stuck. Okay, at this point you can keep it on the tool if you wanted to and you do a bit of shaping. This is a perfect opportunity to use your mini pencil tool. And then you can just, not break them off. You just gently fan these out. And bend them over as well, because they look quite nice if you just bend them over a bit. Again, it's the sort of thing you just sit and faff around with. I think that's a technical term, isn't it?
It is like squidge.
There you go. Okay, so you take that off and you can use that then into a pot. So our greenhouse accessory kit, you get quite a few pots and what have you, so you get little square ones that I've just coloured in. So I'm going to I'll put a little square one on here. You can get different...
They come white when you get them, well,
yeah.
almost white, aren't they, when you get them?
Sorry, this is... Right, that's part of the flower pot one, so they come out like that. And then you can colour them in like that. And that was done with acrylic paint. This is from the greenhouse set, and that was done with the Pebeo pen we have. And this one was done with paint, and then I put nail varnish on it. Can you see? Is that shiny?
Yeah.
Yeah. So nail varnish on there, and then I've done some from the green, and then I've tried to make them look like terracotta pots.
Yeah.
So actually, I might use a terracotta pot in this one.
Something pink in the middle of that, okay?
Yes, there is something pink in the middle there. So you need something to put them into, and you want something, a little bit of weight on it, just to give them a little bit of stability. I'm using plasticine because I happen to have I found a block lurking around in my craft area. You can use plasticine or you can use air dry clay is quite good. The advantage of air dry clay is that it sets hard. The advantage of plasticine, it doesn't, and you can change it if you wanted to at a different time. So I've just put that in there like that. I'm going to make an indentation for putting the base of the foliage in like that, so you can see it like that. Okay, so then to hide, make that a little bit deeper, a bit wider. Okay, so to hide the plasticine, because obviously you don't want to see the plasticine, you can use soil. So soil, where are we then? You're getting into it,
you're fine. No, it's all right, my hand's gone dead.
Oh, right. I thought it was a direct...
No, my hand's gone dead.
So there's a couple of things you can use. So these are tea leaves, and they work from a used tea bag. If you do it from a non-used tea bag, they're a bit darker. I haven't got them with me, but you can use coffee grounds are great because they're quite a dark one. Or
they're
this
very
stuff,
effective, aren't they?
or this stuff, which looks like gravel.
Yep.
Okay, so this is you know those silicone gel bags you can get.
Yeah.
Well, if you haven't got silicone gel in it, you can get the eco ones, and that's what's in the eco ones. So that, you can use that. I'm going to use tea for this one. Okay, so I'm going to put it on. Alright, so before I put it in, I'll find it. You can do it before or after you put your foliage in, but I tend to find it easier to do it before.
Smidge that way, Kay.
Right, so like that. Okay, is that in the centre?
And forward to me a bit. Perfect, that's bang on.
Okay, so what I tend to do is I put glue on top where I want the soil to go. Like that. Okay, so you want to do this while the glue is still wet. Then you put your foliage in, squidge it in. And then you can also, that's it, so it's in. So I've just planted my plant, and then I'm going to put some soil on it. So it's a bit the same as you would do for glitter. Let's put these on.
That at the moment looks like a cat has attacked the flower pot. Brilliant.
There we go. And then I'd leave that to dry before I take any more out, and then reshape it when the soil's dry. But that is a potted up plant, and you can do that with all of them.
Towards you, but
Okay. Oops. Right, like that.
perfect.
Okay, so I'll just put this back. The other thing you can do with each individual leaf, or the petals, if you wanted to, but these work particularly well, is put a wire on them. You can do them individually. So I've cut them out individually, so this will be like, and then you stick a wire over it, and then I painted them. Okay, so those are done in the soiled ones. So these would be, what's that, castor oil plant. So you could, and you can bend them then. You've got the advantage then, they'll bend. So you can manipulate them into any
Yep.
and they stay put. So that's the advantage of doing with the wire on it. So there's the sword ones, and then I've done some here with the ferns. So these ferns I've done with white, and then I've painted them.
Towards that way a bit. That's it.
So I've done the white. So I've put this one has just got a wire stuck on it without any paper covering it. This one's got a white one with a wire on it. Okay, so I'm just going to do. So I've cut this one out of the crepe paper. So I'll get a piece of wire. So I'm going to do it white so you can see what I've done. So I'll just get a bit of wire and cut this out. This one is 1 in 32. You might want a slightly thicker one than this, which would be 24. So the higher the number of these wires, the thinner they are.
We will be getting some on our website.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so if they're not on there already, there will be soon. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is just slightly, because it's slightly curved, I'm going to shape that slightly. So that goes on like that. Okay, so it's got a slight curve in it. And then I'm going to I'll show you what I do with the glue. So I put my glue on here. What I tend to do then is just put a line of glue.
Sorry. It needs to come forward a smidge. Your tape needs to come this way.
Where's it go? Where
Towards me.
There?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. Right, so you put your glue. I'll put a line of glue there, and then just pick up the bent wire.
So you're just pulling the wire through the glue?
No, I'm just dabbing it in.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's now coated with glue.
Yep.
And you just lay it on top. And then leave it alone until it's dry. It doesn't take that long.
Brilliant.
Okay, so you just leave it then you just leave it there to dry. Okay, so just take it out when dry. And then when it's dry, and then I tend to get the bit that goes here, the stalky bit, is I just pinch it into the wire and it sort of blends in, and then you can paint the whole lot.
Yeah.
But again,
Come this way a bit. That's it.
so again, the ferns in particular work well with that. That's because then you can manipulate them as you want. So I've done the cheese plant. Again, you can see on the back, you've got the wires on the back.
But you can't really see them, Kay. It's so realistic.
So I've got the brown wires on the back, and then you can, because then you can shape it as you want to. Then, and again, I've coated that with a glossy medium, just to give them a nice shine, because they'll be nice and healthy then. So, and then this is the fern one. So I put this in a plant. You can see how they're separate, but you can manipulate the wires as you wish, and you can make them as curly. So if you've got new ones, you basically you just manipulate them as you want to, really. So you can make it as realistic as you want. So that's your fern done. So it means that you can change it as you want to then, to fit into your dioramas. Now this one here, I've used the flax, then I've used the heart-shaped leaves, and then I've used the smaller maple ones, and I've used them so you can use them as heucheras. So that's on a bigger pot, which hopefully will be on the website soon, and then you can make a little planter for your patios. And I think at the moment that's it. The end it's endless.
It is. They're brilliant.
So hopefully we'll have more videos on how to do individual flowers as we go. But that's just an introduction to how they work.
And we bet you might have fallen asleep halfway through because it's a very long video.
No, it's not. I'll be editing it. I've edited it for you.
Bye. Say goodbye, Kate.
Bye.